Let's kind of go back to the evolution of Dr. Brian.
Yeah, totally.
Right? I'm intrigued because as I was doing my research, I came to I was like, yo, why doesn't this is probably the most mysterious, most discreet doctor I've ever seen, because she has so much like, yo, who is she? Has such a following, but no Wikipedia. I found that like so hard. I was like, yo, who doesn't have a Wikipedia? So I'm literally trying to find out certain things because I'm trying to go deep. You said, how deep we gonna go? I said as deep as the ocean floor.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I was Googling some of the things that he was introducing her for, and I see hybrid life coaching. So she's a life coach that teaches life coaching, which, by the way, is the never ending. If you have a business where you teach coaches how to coach online, digitally, if done correctly, there's a never ending stream of revenue that can come in. And usually it's mid to high ticket clients. So let's just keep going.
So that's where I really want to kind of start. Where are you originally from?
I love that. I want to hit on the Wikipedia really quick. I don't have it because years ago my team was like, let's do the Wikipedia, we got to do this. And my thing again was not for me to get into my field or even on TV with Teen Mom and co-produce shows that I produced to be a celebrity. And I'm not knocking celebrities. I did it again because for me, my purpose is, as a little girl growing up in the inner city, in the hood, to your question, growing up with abandonment issues, growing up with brokenness, and finding my way to use my platform, my books, everything about myself and everyone else's platforms, like your amazing platform, to be able to give those tools and pieces to little girls and little boys like me.
What the hell does that have to do with you not having a Wikipedia?
In the inner city, in the trailer park, I don't care where they are, who are just saying, why me and how, right? How? And so the celebrityness and the Wikipedia meant nothing to me, but the lives that I've been able to change from platforms, from being on TV, from being the president of the biggest and baddest civil rights organization, the kids who have been able to call me and say, Doc, you know, I'm in college, I've graduated, you know, I'm married with a family now, adults who are experiencing ideations and mental breakdowns, who are saying, look,
I sense heavy deception. It's odd for me for you to say that you want to do a Wikipedia page because you don't want fame, but then also say, but then I go on TV show and I love all of the people that are content, right? Like, it doesn't make any damn sense.
Look, I don't know more. I sold all my guns. That is my Wikipedia. That is my celebrityness. And that's my bigness for me. And so if Doc don't ever get a Wikipedia, I'm fine. But to that point, because of all the work I've done in the community, because of all the lives that I have happily been, you know, honored and privileged to change, my city, Los Angeles, has given me something that's legacy, that's, I believe, bigger than Wikipedia. My branch and myself and my founder, Joe Gatlin, we have our own street in the city of Los Angeles as a token of their appreciation for me coming in and giving back where I came from and what I've learned in the sense of coming to a place of mental health and coming to a place of a good quality of life. So I'll take that.
I don't understand. So you don't want, so you have a street named after you, but you don't want a Wikipedia page because of why? It doesn't make sense to me.
Any day. But I'm a little girl, a product of teenage parents. My father was 16, mom was 15 when they got pregnant. And in the inner city, my dad was a hardcore gangster, dope dealer in the streets. He's a founder of one of the biggest Pyru gangs in Los Angeles. My mom was also, a gangster in the streets alongside my father. They were high school sweethearts, met at 10 years old. About 2 years old, when I was 2, my dad went to jail for murder and selling dope. And by the time he got out, he beat his case, thank God. By the time he got out, they told my father my mom was selling 8-tracks. And back then, he thought 8-tracks she's selling 8-tracks, the record albums. She drops him off to a gym to work out. And she takes his car, and she never returns. He calls his brother, and he says, yo, Kim hasn't came and got me. Is she okay? Where's she at? Coming to find out, she wasn't selling 8-tracks. My mom was doing the drug that my father was selling. And so as a little girl, coming from that, growing up with a lot of questions of abandonment, and I even was questioning God, saying, I just don't understand, why. And I know for sure, it's not just kids that question this, adults also question God with certain situations that they have, especially when it comes to being a child who's experiencing abandonment, who grew up to be an adult, who's now experiencing that little boy or little girl in you who's abandoned. Me asking God, like, why I'm confused, right? And him.
If you told me that you don't have a Wikipedia because all this shit, but you have an Instagram of 1.2 million followers, like, please help me understand what it is that you're saying. That actually doesn't make any damn sense. It makes not a lick of sense.
Him explaining to me baby, the only way I can give you an understanding of why is if I give you the experience. And I said, I'm good, you know, because words don't teach, experience does. And so for me, growing up as the oldest of 7, not having anyone in front of me to witness how to do life, how to get through this, I just went into prayer, supplication, and faith in myself and God, and I became very resilient. And at that point, I understood that life was a journey that was about self-growth, by self, but about making sure that whatever God moves through me, he gives to me. So I want to make sure that whatever's coming out of me, I want to keep, 1. And 2, that whatever it is that I'm able to resolve or understand, or whatever pain pockets or trauma I'm able to navigate through, that I do have a duty, an unspoken oath, to give that to any human, because it's a human right to have mental health and a good quality of life. And so that's my story in a very, very small shell. There's a lot more to it, but you know, being a broken little girl, when you heal right and when you take the necessary steps to get your trauma in alignment with who you really are, good people come from that. Good people come from that. And so it gave me the ability to see good in people, but be a hybrid and not be naive to, excuse my language, the bullshit that trauma and the inner city and abandonment can create somebody to be if you're not careful with that.
Okay, Siri, stop the clock. Boom, right there. I just asked a simple question.
Yeah, and I gave you a simple answer.
That was not simple.
She sure does like to show off her titties, huh? You know, I wish it was like a research study done in order, right? Like if you take a look of all of women's Instagrams and you try to correlate to the amount that they show off their titties and their ass on their profile, and you try to correlate it to the number of subscribers that they have, you know, if let's say you hold the control of, you know, amount of posts per week or a month or something like that, like you can control for certain factors. I wonder what the research would show. How much more? Right, because like men and women gonna click on titties, let's face it, all right? So, you know, if titties, you know, sex sells at the end of the day. Titties being utilized as a marketing strategy, I mean, just is what it is. But if I look at it and I call you a thought pocket, don't be upset at that. That's all I'm saying.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
So you're from Los Angeles,
Modern
From
woman.
LA.
Okay.
Yeah. I just nipped in all the other questions you was going to ask all in one. I'm making your job easier.
Extremely. I was like, I just
easier.
wanted to know where you was from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was just going back to the Wikipedia.
But you should know this, Cam, because I was told you have a great relationship with your father, that asking somebody where they're from is also asking them about who is connected to where they're from. And for me, I stand on the shoulders of my father, Darren, my mother, Kim, my grandfather, Bailey, and my grandmother, Mariah. So for me to say where I'm from without saying me standing on their shoulders is an incomplete narrative. And so I can't say that without saying I come from them, who I'm standing on, and this is the product of it.
I get it.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to
But we there.
say
So where
less.
we going? We there. So let's drive and stay. Where are we going?
The question is, with me doing my research, educated, highly educated, very articulate.
Thank you.
So I'm really curious to know this question. Were your parents married?
They were not.
They were together. And do you think that had any type of impact on the woman that you are today?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Well, how?
Yeah. I love that question. You know, it impacted me in a lot of broken ways, but it impacted me in a lot of really healthy ways. Contrast, which is something most people don't like, really is our best friend. And so I always say as a little girl, no pun intended to everyone who raised me, but I saw a lot of contrast. I saw a lot of who I didn't want to be like. And so what that did was, and this is for the people who don't know where you want to go, don't know who you are, but you know you don't like your environment, you don't like where you're at. This could be at any age. I always say it's not where you're running to that'll get you there. Oftentimes it's what you're running from. And for me, it was me running from my contrast, saying, I don't want to be that, or that. I don't know who I want to be at this point. When I was younger, I don't know where I'm going, but I put my track shoes on, Cam, tied them up, and y'all may see these really pretty heels on today.
I swear to God, you cannot make this shit up. She's in bra and panties and lingerie, covered from head to toe. And besides that is marketing. Keep dreaming it until it becomes your reality. Are you a new or existing therapist or life coach? Now, she's advertising the website that I just brought up for you guys. If so, this program is for you. Have you always wanted to hold on, let me play this while I read it. Have you always wanted to transform countless lives through a thriving coaching practice? Get DBI certified and become a thriving life coach. Dr. Bryant Institute offers the first and only hybrid life coaching certification program. Our hybrid life coaching certification program is now open for registration. We offer financing. Bitch, put it on credit. I put it on credit for all of our services, including our hybrid life coaching certification program. And listen, at the end of the day, she's a businesswoman utilizing her tits, her ass, her abs in order to get somewhere. The thing is like, while I listen to her explanation, she's modeled a modern woman boss bee. And listen, for financial reasons, yeah, for sure. But I wonder if she's married. I wonder if she's happily married. Yeah, I wonder. Because this to me is not marriage material from what I can see. Let's go.
But I say it every day, my track shoes would never come off, because me running from that has gotten me to a place of, you know, as you said, and thank you, being very educated, to being able to take care of my mother and my family, to being a doctor,
married?
to doing things that broke so many generational curses. But it also created a very broken young girl.
Damn, I'm good.
Which caused me to have to just self-reflect and take inventory.
She's on Basketball Wives?
Why do I behave like this? And why do I show up like this? And what is it rooted to? What is that associated to? And so for me, getting to the seeds of my harvest allowed me to really have a sense of self, of who I am, and where to come from. And then really quick, and when you do that, it allowed me to have this intense forgiveness for my mother and her addiction, because finding out who I am helped me really understand who she was. And it helped me have compassion for trauma when I started to understand how hard trauma was for me, and I wasn't even addicted to anything but my trauma, because that's all I knew. And so it's magical when you start to take the finger from here to here to here, and then to here, because you get to understand you, and understanding you, you start to really have compassion for everybody. Because there's nothing about me, if I understand me, that you haven't similarly either felt or experienced, where I can't connect and have compassion for you in that pain pocket or in that trauma. So it's a blessing.
So basically what you're saying, you're the epitome of...
That was posted 2 days ago on VH1's Instagram. Dr. Cheyenne, aka Dr. Brian's Brunch Blowout, is definitely the top 3 for most explosive fights this season. I'm not making that up.
She's going nowhere.
Okay, whatever. Let's keep going.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
Mm-hmm.
She started a physical fight.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was definitely. I had to learn. I love that. That is so on point. You're 100% on point. I definitely have been the run of the track star. I had to learn. I spoke about this earlier with my makeup artist, Felicia. I had to learn what running, not running looked like. See, I didn't have to learn how to get away from you because you weren't treating me good. I didn't have to learn how to make sure you respected me and you showed up solid, because I was gonna pivot, right? Pivot and running, that's my first nature. I've been doing this all my life. I had my track shoes on. I came into the relationship with my track shoes on, and I went to bed with them with you. So they're not like they was ever off. I had to learn how to stay and evolve with. I had to learn that commitment's not a feeling, and that when I'm triggered, I have to stay committed to what I said I was gonna do, regardless of how I feel, regardless of where this relationship or this conversation triggered or took me in my pain. I couldn't let my pain tell me it's time to leave this Negro and sabotage. I had to let my healthy self say, wait a minute, let me overpower the pain, because the healing is gonna say, do you want to be here? The pain is going to say, you need to be here. And healed people want. Pain people, trauma people need. And so for me, my trauma needed me to detach so I can be okay, because I was coming in broken already. And I had to learn how to be able to stay with my track shoes on, because they still on, but not get on the blocks, and be able to strut and take a walk. But it was a process of learning. And in my process of being a runner, it enabled me to call off 2 weddings. And glad that I made those decisions, but it helped me not.
Two, you were engaged twice. I swear you can't make this shit up. This is so interesting. These parts of the interviews aren't the ones that go viral. It's funny how that happens. Shout out to Coffee Killer. She is placing out the dating game and projecting her insecurities on the cam. Look at those arms. It's showing her future figure image. She would want a man with the wealth of Cam. I will let you know. She, without a doubt, is a multimillionaire. How do I know this? She's getting millions of views as of the Cam Newton interview. I don't know. She's been on Basketball Wives, and she has a coaching program. She already is a multimillionaire. She has an extreme bag. And then also, the majority of her audience is women. Let me tell you guys, especially because I'm friends with content creators now who have women audiences, women support way more than men. And I'll just keep it a stack. If I was doing the Derek Jackson shit, I would have 4 times the amount of money, if not 5 to 6 times the amount of money. Men are a lot more skeptical with their dollars, and you need to prove a lot more to men than what women. Women, it's so much easier to convince to give money for different things, put it up on credit, finance it, you know, however it is, student loan it. It just is what it is, and it's quite unfortunate. but I mean, here's the thing. I'm also very specific with my dollar as well. I make sure when I'm investing into things, right, there's an ROI on that investment. So without a doubt, she's not Cam's wealth, but she's probably doing extremely well for herself. I found this clip right here. Apparently she was on Nick Cannon shit speaking about why she's not married.
Person.
Yeah.
And then it still didn't. 4 times that you almost went down the altar.
I almost went down.
Yeah. Why hasn't it worked? And whose fault is it? Because you've been talking about accountability. You've been talking about high functioning, and you literally told me in my situation, because of the type of high functioning and low functioning people I'm choosing.
Yep.
Almost down the altar 4 times. Does that mean that she was engaged 4 times, but your man was high functioning, but he wasn't high value? So what was the problem? If you're saying that the value has nothing to do with it, 4 times, 4 times, is that not a... 4 times? 4.
Why hasn't it worked for you?
For the first few, I was low functioning, and I was still in my healing journey. And so I law of attracted low functioning.
That happened all 4 or just the first?
The first, I would say like the first 2 or 3.
2,
Definitely low functioning of myself.
How were you low functioning that found things that where you thought this was your match, this was your person, and then it still didn't go through because you were low functioning?
I take accountability. It was my fault because I knew all of them were not my person. And so this is why I say it's not their fault, because these men wasn't no infidelity. You know, they weren't beating on me. I attract good men, but I wasn't in the space of being ready to marry them. But I needed them to be good for me, Nick, because I needed something good to be reflected on me for my healing journey.
Wow. Okay. So here she says it's because she was low functioning. Sucks to be those guys, I guess. To get that far and that long in a relationship, and having a woman finally accept accountability for her bullshit. All right, you know, it is what it is. This is why men become dogs. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jet. The big guy, the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. You don't wanna see me get vexed. Bars on your phone, tell a man you can't jet. The big guy, the ones who can't stretch. Breaking the neck when we in the car next. That bar, need a fibrillation ASAP. Get boxed with a straight gap. I'm reminded of mind state they lack. Every time that they climb, we go